All right, hello, algebra kids. All right, we're going to practice writing the equation given a table of values, okay? Now, this is like to lead into our next and final unit on sequences, all right? Once we do sequences, then we might go back and review old topics, all right? So, sequences are like writing the equation given a table, all right? So we're going to look at ones that are linear. If you remember, y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope, right? That's the amount that it either adds or subtracts from one y value to the next. And remember, b is the y-intercept. For ones that are exponential, remember, it's y equals a times b to the x, where a, the number in front, is your y-intercept, and the base, b, is the scale factor. That's what you're multiplying or dividing by. So if you notice it's multiplying or dividing from one value to the next, then it's exponential. It is this form. If you're seeing that it's adding or subtracting from one value to the next, then it's going to be linear, right? And this is really a review. So if you remember this from, October, November, right, this is going to be real easy. All right, so here we go. Question 1. All right, what we're trying to do is find the pattern. It's going from 4 to 8 to 16 to 32. Now, you need at least 3 values to figure out whether we're adding or subtracting or we're multiplying or dividing. So going from 4 to 8, it might seem that it's adding 4. But if you were adding 4, it would go from 8 to 12. So we know it's not adding. So it looks like it's going to be multiplying. So then I go back and try to see what it's multiplying by. From 4 to 8, it's doubling. From 8 to 16, it's doubling. From 16 to 32, it's doubling. So what's happening is it's multiplying by 2. All right? So that's our base. That's our b. All right? Then we just got to find our y-intercept, which is when x is 0. So this is going to be the form y equals a times b to the x. A is our y-intercept, which was 4. And b is the base, so that's what we're multiplying by. From 4 to 8, 8 to 16, we're multiplying by 2. So our equation is y equals 4 times 2 to the x. All right? What I recommend you do is you then go into your calculator and put that equation in, 4 parentheses 2. Make sure you hit the exponent button on the right below clear, to the x. And then go to your table. If your table of values here matches what's on your paper, you're good. Look, 0, 4 matches, 1, 8, 2, 16, 3, 32. All right? I'm going to do a couple more examples with you. All right? Just to, remind you. All right? So look at number 2. And purposefully, I made it start out the same. 0, 4, 1, 8, but then it goes 2, 12. So on this one, from 4 to 8, it's going up by 4, adding 4. From 8 to 12, it's going adding 4. From 12 to 16. So each time it's adding. So this one is linear. The first one was exponential. All right? All right, so we're adding 4. All right? You just got to watch out that they're not skipping, right? Our slope, remember, is the rise over the run. So the rise is the y's. It's going up by 4. If you look at the run, from 0 to 1, from 1 to 2, that's going up by 1. So our slope is 4 over 1. Or 4. So that tells us m equals 4. Right? Your b is your y-intercept, which on this is 4. All right, so we go y equals mx plus b, where m is our slope, 4 times x. B is our y-intercept, which is 4. Y equals 4x plus 4. All right? So you're trying to see, are you adding from one to the next or subtracting? If it's adding or subtracting, it's going to be linear. Or are we multiplying or dividing from one to the next value? Then it's exponential. All right, so look at number 3. So that's key. You want to find out, is it linear or is it exponential? It's going from 16 to 8 to 4 to 2. Now, we see if you're trying to see if it's linear from 16 to 8, it's going down by 8. But if it goes down by 8, would it be 4? Right? If you subtracted 8 from 8, this should have been a 0. So we're not subtracting or adding. So this one is going to be dividing. So this one's going to be exponential. Exponential. All right? So from 16 to 8, we're basically dividing by 2, or we're cutting it in half. From 8 to 4, we're dividing by 2, so that's 1/2. So this 1/2 is our base, our b, right? b equals 1/2, all right? And then a is your y-intercept, which is 16. All right, since it's exponential, y equals a times b to the x. Remember the coefficient was your y-intercept, which is 16. Your base was 1/2 because we're dividing by 2. This is our equation. Y equals 16 times 1/2 to the x. Right? And I'm going to put it in just to be sure. 16 times 1/2 exponent x. I'm going to go to my table. And it matches, right? 0, 16, 1, 8, 2, 4, 3, 2. All right, I'm going to do one more example and have you practice. All right, number 4. All right, it's going from 16 to 8 to 0 to -8. So this one, it looks like from one to the next, they're subtracting 8. All right, so that means our slope is -8. So this one's going to be linear. Y equals mx plus b. A y-intercept is 16. Y equals -8x plus 16. And if you plug it into y equals, go to the table, you should be able to check to make sure it's right. All right? All right, try the rest of these. There's some linear and there's some exponential mixed in. All right, and I'll post the solutions. Talk to you soon.